If you have to vote today in an ADC convention, your options are okay, Obi-Kwankwaso, Atiku or Rotimi Amaechi. Where would you have to place that vote?
You see, the Obi-Kwankwaso is also part of the political gimmicks. Until a presidential candidate is produced before you pick the vice. So all these are part of the political permutation to present to the people that, look, we have something tangible, reliable, credible. But when we will have a presidential candidate, the party leaders are going to now weigh the larger options, which are not microscopic.
So you think they cannot pre-conclude that if Peter Obi gets the ticket, Kwankwaso should be his running mate?
Not at all.
They can't pre-conclude
No, not at all. Obasanjo in 1999, after he picked the ticket, the Sule Lamidos and Abubakar were the contenders, even before the primaries. These were names that were associated with Obasanjo. But after the primaries, the party had to weigh a ticket that would deliver. And they went for an elected governor to be a vice president. So what is happening now is not conclusive that the party may end up with that. So Bola Ahmed Tinubu, before President Muhammadu Buhari, had a Bola Ahmed Tinubu while he was campaigning. He had a Bola Ahmed Tinubu as a likely presidential vice president. But when he was elected, the obvious reality, the mass movement of Christians who came and even endorsed Buhari at the International Conference Center had to change the dynamics. So after the Supreme Court decision, ADC will go into its last phase. You will now know who are those who are coming into the ADC.
Some would say within your party, supporters of Obi-Kwankwaso would most likely say, barrister, smell the coffee. This is what your supporters want. They don't want all the horse trading that comes with politics after the convention. They've already predetermined what the ticket is going to be, and they say that this is the combination that could beat Bola Ahmed Tinubu in 2027. What do you say to that?
The supporters of a presidential candidate cannot determine for a party who the presidential candidate will be.
Who the running mate?
No, the running mate will be. They can't. Because
even if their vote relies on who is running mate,
there is no any presidential candidate that has the political support to win the presidency. There's none. So there's nobody that can wake up today and say, oh, we are supporters of this, and so if you don't you give us this. No. After the primaries, the stakeholders are going to sit. Options are going to be put on the table. There are developments that will manifest after the primaries. And those developments will be challenging. They have to be taken into consideration.
You're saying that there's a possibility that there are some names that are not even considered right now that could be considered after the convention?
Very, very well. Very, very well. Abiola did not want King Gibe to be his vice. It was the dynamics of the post-primary that brought them together. So it is not bad for candidates to make alignments that will help them or help them get votes or woo the delegates. It's allowed in politics. That's why it's called politics. But as to what will actually happen, it relies solely on the political party. Because after the Congress, whosoever emerges, the behavior and the body language of the chief priest of Emiloko will also determine who will pick. So there are so many things, variables, political variables.
I mean, it looks like Kashim Shettima is safe on that side.
No, I do not want to imagine that, knowing the president very well as a Machiavellian. Because I granted one interview and told
What do you mean when you say Machiavellian?
No, Tinubu is a Machiavellian. You know, if you read The Prince, which is a book written, Machiavellian theory. A Machiavellian is a political personality that believes only in himself.
Very calculative.
And is so calculative and conscious of the immediate environment and expects every existing entity around him to give him 100% loyalty. So, that has played out because what they're doing.
Some would say there are two governors up for grabs, Governor Bola Ahmed and Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State. What are your thoughts about whether the ADC should consider going after these key figures? Because we've seen the APC make as much effort as they can to get as many governors or as many political elites as they can before 2027.
The Kaurambochi Governor Bola Ahmed is one exceptional northern politician who is very courageous. He's also a performer, because if you go to Bauchi and assess him objectively, you can see the giant strike he had so far left in Bauchi. He is also a reformer, because if you look at his traditional institutional reforms, and then you look at how humble he is, somebody who is very humble and accessible. When I went to see him in Bauchi, I just walked into the government house. I walked into, I said, oh, come here. I walked in and I saw him sitting down with the people around him. So he's a very simple and accessible person. Let me tell you about the visit of Peter Obi. Of course, as a leader in the ADC, and is interested in contesting the presidency, he must demonstrate that goodwill of reach and accommodation and earning the confidence of the political actors. I've been to Bauchi 3 times, but it's not on news. One of the earliest ADC politicians who reached out to Bola Ahmed is me. And when it was clear that there was going to be some ganged up against him to frustrate him, I went again. And I made my final visit to him and told him the options left for him is to join the ADC. Because in the North today, he remains one of the dependable political actors of his generation. We're not looking at the Atiku generation. The Atiku generation, they are already, on their way.
On their way out?
Out. They may not last long on the political stage. Now, who do we look up to? And for me, I'm interested in the generation that comes after them. And Kaurambochi falls among them. And I talked to him about the need for taking a decisive decision. And he said, oh, let me sleep over it. So, Bachir has gone subsequently. Peter Obi has gone now. All these are very healthy development. They tell you of the qualities of a politician in Kaurambochi. Otherwise, there are so many governors who have gone to them. Even these APC governors, if there were some of them that we knew that are reliable and can be recruited into the leadership build-up for the next generation would have gone to them. It's not limited to freelance politicians. No. Any governor that we know, Zulum is one of the governors in APC that by my competition of leaders for the next generation in the North, I'm looking up to him. I have not visited him, but I'll visit him. It's not about party.
So if you could have Zulum, you would bring him in?
I want Zulum to belong to where he can be able to can be one of our kites we can fly in the future, because we're looking at Nigeria in the future.